What's up everyone, Andrew Baena here, and today I will be doing a demo and review of my latest guitar, which is an LTD EC-1008 ET. So for those of you that have ever seen an LTD Eclipse before, this is the 1000 series model in an 8-string format with an Evertune, hence the 1008 and the ET in the name. This guitar features an Evertune Bridge, which means it should never go out of tune, or very rarely go out of tune at least. I have it tuned to drop E. It has a 26.5-inch scale length, Emg 81 and 60 pickups. And before I talk about this guitar anymore, let's see how it sounds. I'm going to be playing a section of the song called Blades by Hacktivist. The song is tuned to drop E, and all of the guitar tones you're about to hear were recorded with my Kemper and a Precision Drive by Horizon Devices. Let's go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about on this guitar is the fact that it is a 26.5-inch scale length. This seems to be a big point of controversy with this guitar. Most people, including myself, usually say that the ideal minimum scale length for an 8-string guitar is 27 inches. Both of my other 8-string guitars are 27 inches. This one's a ½ inch shorter, which a lot of people think would cause some tuning stability issues or intonation issues and stuff like that. But I'm happy to report that so far I have not noticed any issues with intonation or tuning stability so far. Like I said earlier, I do think that that ½ scale length can make quite a big difference. However, when you have an Evertune Bridge, it kind of compensates for that potential discrepancy, because it doesn't really matter quite as much if the strings are in perfect tension or not, because it's going to stay in tune anyways. Speaking of tuning stability, let's talk about the Evertune Bridge. So for those of you who don't know what an Evertune Bridge is, it is essentially a bridge that is supposed to make your guitar never go out of tune. The easiest way that I can describe it is it's almost like having like an individual Floyd Rose type thing under each and every string. Obviously you don't have a whammy bar, you can't do whammy bar stuff with it. However, basically the principle is sort of similar in the sense that when you pluck a string, it exerts a force which makes the string move, and there's a bunch of springs on the back of this guitar, one on each saddle, that basically adjusts for how hard you're picking or how hard you're pressing the fingerboard, so that the spring kind of pulls or pushes the saddle back into place so that it stays perfectly in tune. It's pretty weird to get used to at first because bending and vibrato does feel a little different than any other guitar that I've ever played, simply because you sort of have to over-exaggerate it a little bit. But with that being said, I don't really do much vibrato or bending that often anyway, so I didn't find that it was that big of a deal for me. If you're a shredder and you play a lot of leads, I think it might be a little weird to get used to. Not saying that it's impossible to get used to, but I think it'll take you a little bit of time to kind of get the hang of it. That's all I'm trying to say. So for those of you who are familiar with LTD 1000 series quality, it is the exact same on this guitar. I've owned the normal EC-1000, which is the 6-string version of this guitar, and it was fantastic, and this is just as good. The quality is always really, really good with the 1000 series LTD guitars. They are made in Korea, but despite that, I have not noticed any issues with this guitar at all. I mean, it's pretty simple, it's just gloss black, but even despite that, I'm very, very happy with this guitar. Everything feels extremely solid, nothing feels like it's going to fall off, there are 0 sharp fret edges, everything just works exactly as how you'd want it to work out of the box. So with that being said, I don't really have any critiques of this guitar personally. For the price that I paid, which was about $1,300 Canadian, it's around $1,000 US. Because this is a B-stock model. There's a couple little paint issues which are just because it's a B-stock, so I don't really care. And you can't even see them from the camera anyways. There's like a little bleed on some of the binding on the neck, but no big deal. If I had to be super nitpicky, the only thing I would say is that it's extremely fucking heavy, like literally heavy, not musically heavy. Well, it is musically heavy too, but that's not really the guitar's fault. I mean, it's the type of wood it is, plus having all this Evertune equipment in there definitely weighs the guitar down. So I think playing live with this guitar is going to be a little more tiresome than my other guitars, especially because most of my other guitars are Swamp Ash, which is super light, and this is mahogany, so it's quite a bit heavier, but that's what kind of makes it sound different and sound so good. A lot of people also like to complain about Emg Pickups, I find, at least online. And I really like how these pickups sound. For clean tones, maybe they're not the greatest thing in the world, but for a standard, like, distorted rhythm gent tone, sounds fucking awesome. I have no complaints at all about these. I think the weirdest thing about this guitar really is just to get used to the Evertune Bridge. It's so strange, first of all, to not really have to tune between takes when you're recording, which is exactly why I bought it. That's what I wanted it to do, and so far it's doing a good job at that. But it is very weird because to tune the guitar, you actually have to get this little Allen key that came with it, and you actually tune the saddle instead of the tuning peg. So it's weird to get this concept in your brain, because, you know, when you want to tune up, you just go up there automatically, but you can't do that with this guitar. So basically what these do is they act as like your tension. So you tune down here, so if this is an E and you feel like your string is too floppy, then you can twist this up to a certain range and it'll still stay in E, except the string will feel tighter. So if you like playing with tighter strings, you can do that. If you like playing with looser strings, you can just loosen the tuning pegs and it'll do that for you right away. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say about this guitar. So far I'm really enjoying it. I haven't even had it for a week yet, but it is pretty much all I've been playing since I got it. Very excited to do more videos with this. If you guys have any questions that I didn't answer in this video, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I will try to answer as many as possible. Other than that, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, if you don't know, my band Galactic Pegasus just put out a new EP last Friday. It is titled Dysphoria, and if you guys have not heard it yet, I would really appreciate it if you went and checked that out. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to reading your comments, and I will see you guys next time.